You say that you went to join CRASS or to start CRASS. It was because you really weren't allowed to say when you were younger.
Oh, yeah. And that for me, for the first time, I was able to stick my fingers up and swear at the establishment and, write songs like I was for living. And I think for a lot of people, for a lot of young people in those days, it was the same.
Well, and that's who you are for this whole generation.
It sounds naive and sort of idealistic, I suppose, but, to this day, I just want everybody to be friends. So, and that's why I can't sit in the dressing room, if we get one. I have to be out there talking to people and sort of messing around and sort of, and people say, oh, you're so down to earth. And I'm like, well, I just enjoy shooting the breeze, that's what it's about as well. It's, and people come up to me and telling me, I don't know, God, there was one concert, we did one show in England, and this woman, I was standing at the bar, I had one of those quiet moments, everybody else in the place was talking apart from me. I had no one to talk to. And so I was just daydreaming, and this woman came up and said, Steve, would you mind signing this? I'm sorry to disturb you. I went, no, that's totally fine. I said, who's it to? And she went, it's Dave. And I went, right, where's Dave? And she went, he's behind you, but he's very shy. So I turned around and I said, oh, Dave, come here and, let's have a beer together. And he came up and he said, Steve, firstly, I know you've heard it 1,000 times, but, I just want to shake your hand and say thanks, for inspiring me. And I said, oh, I'll tell you what, Dave, buy me a beer, we call it quits. So that broke the ice, And then he said, Steve, I've got to tell you, I had the choice of either coming to see you tonight, but my dad's in hospital at the moment, he's just had a really bad stroke, and, and he said, I had the choice of either coming to see you tonight or stand by my dad's bedside. And he got tears in his eyes. I got a lump in my throat, and sort of went and all I could do was hug the bloke. I mean, what sort of, it just, and that's what it's about, It's not about sort of arguing about record covers and stuff. It's about getting out there and meeting people and, being slated by people. It is about that, and it's about meeting people. It's about people letting me into into their lives. For the guy to tell me that, it's just amazing. It just moves me. It's just so humbling, really.
You made such a difference to him that that's what he chose.
Yeah, but then what I always do is I point out, that if I was able to meet, some of, not heroes, but the people who inspired me, I would say exactly the same thing. I would shake them by the hand and say, thanks for changing my life, or thanks for being there, or something. So people shouldn't feel embarrassed about it. Come up and meet me. As I say, I'm always at the bar at the merchandise store. As
down to earth as you appear to be, and that CRASS always held itself to be, people do set themselves up and they become afraid to talk to somebody, and in there's this like, oh, you're better than me. That I think that's something you just are going to see.
Well, yeah, but you can't avoid that, can you? But I'll try and diffuse it as much as possible.
Well, that's a human nature thing, and that's great because you do make a difference.
Yeah, the other thing is that firstly, I've got this thing called a conscience, and it won't let me get big-headed. I've got lots of friends in my local pub, and I've said to them, look, if ever I start getting a bit of an ego on or getting big-headed, because they're always asking me about, they weren't into punk or nothing, so they're always asking me. And sometimes I can sort of really start talking. And I've said to them, look, if ever I start getting too big-headed or get too big a mouth, will you just sort of kick me in the head, please? And they went, yeah, no problem.
It's always good to have those friends.
I can't do it. I can't allow myself to be big-headed. It's I don't like it. I've seen it happen to other people, and I really was disgusted by it. So, I try as much as possible not to, and I can't. I'm from the gutter, and people shouldn't forget it, because I certainly won't. And I'm no better than anyone else, and I know that.
I wanted to ask you, you've mentioned Bowie a couple times, so what's your favorite Bowie record?
It's got to be Spiders from Mars, that album. Yeah, closely followed by, I really liked his Space Oddity. His acoustic guitar stuff, I thought that was lovely. Yeah.
I was in London in this past July, and I saw that you had something in an art show, like a punk art show.
Oh, yeah.
What do you create?
I used to do a bit of wood carving. So I've got this figure, it's about, just over a foot high. It's quite small, but it's It's based on a Celtic figure.
Mm.
So I put that in. It's
Oh.
sort of like an Earth Mother or a Mother Earth, like the goddess of nature or something.
Uh-huh.
Standing there, so it's very Celtic. I had that, and also I had a little puppet thing, like a little figure that I sat in a box, in a glass box, and made the box look like it was the inside of a pub, an old Victorian pub. So I put that in as well.
Is that something that you still do, creating and carving?
Not at the moment. Obviously, I've been really busy with this and, with day-to-day domestic stuff. But I'm planning, again, once this is over, I'm planning to get back out there with my chisels and start doing some stuff.
Oh, right, you're taking a year off.
Well, yeah. Taking a year off. I'm not going to sit watching telly all the time, so, I'm going to be doing something. I know me too well.
And do you have any particular plans for that year, like one or two things that you're really looking forward to doing?
Well, I'm looking forward to doing these question and answer things with Penny Rambo. I think that would be really nice. And I've got quite a few, I think I might have a few interviews to do as regards the autobiography that I bought out.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and just various bits and pieces. So I don't know, let's see what it brings.
Mm-hmm. And, yeah, so you did mention your book, and I have not brought that up yet. It's called The Rest is Propaganda.
Yep.
And when did it come out?
It came out last year, just before we went on tour, just before we started the tour, so that would be around about September or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I've had reviews from it, and all the reviews are pretty good so far, so people seem to like it, which is really nice. I shall be bringing it with me.
You will?
Oh, yeah.
Very good.
It's got all pictures in it of me when I was, before I was a punk and stuff. Very embarrassing for me, a good laugh for everybody else.
Well, you're not serious enough to keep them from your public, thank you.
No, pictures of my mum and all that. Yeah, the usual stuff, so, hopefully people will find it interesting.
Yeah, absolutely.
And nobody's under any obligation to buy it, so, and before the arguments start, yes, I will be selling merchandise at the concerts, but people are not obliged to buy them. If they don't want to buy a T-shirt, we're giving away free a stencil of the Crass symbol, so if people want to take as many as they want...
Oh, that's great.
Eh?
That's great.
Yeah, they can go and do that, so,
Oh, that's so cool. And, and you mentioned about the woman asking you to sign a record, because I was not sure what your view is on signing autographs.
Yeah, I like signing it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
So that's a way for you to connect with people.
Yeah, so, I mean, what's the problem? Look, if I was to meet someone that I really admired, or, who'd inspired me or done anything, there's a author in England called Barry Hines.
Mm-hmm.
And if ever I had the chance to meet him, I would want my photograph taken with him, and I'd want him to sign. So actually, I've got his autograph. So, I'm no different from anybody else. So, again, if people want a photograph, I really am not bothered by it. It's no skin off my nose. It's the least I can do in return.
I hear that you're really thankful and you want to meet people. And from this conversation, I really get that that's really who you've always been.
Yeah.
I just want to thank you. It's been an honor to talk to you. And then just to say that Crass was at a point in time where kids really needed something. You really helped a generation get that their lives are up to them.
Thanks for that, Diane. Much appreciated.
Yeah, well, thank you. So is there anything that you want to say in closing?
Yeah, there's something I'd like to say to everybody out there. It's a quote from Woody Guthrie, and it's, take it easy, but take it.